Hello, I'm Dylan Somerville, and just about a week ago, we got our 11th seasonal, Vivane. And with that, we have officially passed the halfway mark on sub-seasonals, and with only 4 to go, I think it's time to make an updated version of my seasonals prediction. So here's my prediction on what seasonal events the remaining seasonals would be based on, and which islands they, along with the previously ones added, will be on. Now, when it comes to my original prediction, I got like 2 correct, so don't expect any of these to be correct. With that said, enjoy the video. Now let's get this out of the way. In a recent Breeding Bonanza promotion, a version of the Mexican flag is on display. Now, I highly doubt this means we'll be getting a Cinco de Mayo inspired monster, because so far, none of the new seasonals have been teased by their real-world counterpart. So it's probably just MSM celebrating Cinco de Mayo, similar to how they celebrate Cyber Week and such. I mean, it could, but it's unlikely since it's already passed. Now, to start off, let's look at the calendar to see if we have any patterns. And in fact, we do. So far, most new seasonals have been released about a week after the previous course seasonal event ended. We got Clavavera at the end of Spooktacle, Carolong a week after Festival of Yay, Fiddle 2 weeks after Season of Love, and the latest one, Vivane, a week after Extravaganza. So assuming Jamboree isn't supposed to be the one released after Summer Song last year, we still have one to come after Summer Song this year, with the other 3 coming at points between now and Summer Song. Summer Song used to start the 3rd or 4th last week in July. However, in the last 2 years, it started on the 2nd last Wednesday of July, so I think it's safe to assume that this will be the case this year. Now, unlike most other seasonal events, Summer Song lasts for 4 weeks instead of 3. If this is the case, we have about 11.5 weeks before Summer Song. However, I'm pretty sure they won't release a new seasonal right before Summer Song, so it's likely more like 10 weeks. This would leave about 2.5 weeks for each seasonal if all 4 are coming out before Summer Song. So it's highly likely 3 will come out before Summer Song, and 1 will come out after Summer Song, finishing Seasonal Shanty right before Anniversary Month, where we'll most likely get Rare Jamboree. Anyways, let's start with the 3 coming out before Summer Song. Now, with some of these new seasonals, Big Blue Bubble likes to base them on several similar events happening around that time, like Crescendo Moon being based on New Year's-like events, or Echoes of Eco being based on events like Earth Day and Arbor Day. So it's safe to assume we'll be merging more events with some of these. 2 events I had crossed out from my previous prediction are Mother's Day and Father's Day, since they didn't really feel like they'd fit. But if Big Blue Bubble combined them to make some sort of respecting your elders kind of event, it could fit right in. It could even somehow be connected to the Celestials. My guess is that it could be called something like Celestial Repose or something. Some more hints to this is the fact that we'll most likely be getting one from mid to late May, and if we get it on the 18th, the event would take place right in the middle of Mother's Day and Father's Day. The next seasonal following this pattern would be released June 8th, and there really isn't much celebrated in June. Most of the fun celebrations like Holi, April Fools, and St. Patrick's Day all happen in March and April, but there is one important celebration that happens in June, and that's Pride Month. Now, I said Holi was a colorful holiday, but they could easily make this Pride monster colorful. I mean, look at all the LGBTQ flags. They're just bursting with color. Now, I'm not entirely sure what this could be based on for the monster world, since all monsters are genderless, but I could see something like the Monster Appreciation or the Accept Yourself celebration. Following the pattern, we would get the next seasonal June 29th, and I could really only think of 2 holidays this could represent, those being the summer solstice and the more likely Canada Day. Now, like I said near the start of this video, Big Blue Bubble likes to combine holidays, so if we are to get Canada Day, it would most likely be some kind of Independence Day event, since most Independence Days are celebrated similarly with flags and fireworks and such. So I could either see some kind of firework monster or a maple leaf monster if we're strictly staying with Canada Day. I doubt we'll be getting a summer solstice event right before Summer Song. Then after Summer Song, we would get our last seasonal around August 17th, and in my previous video, there's really only 2 things the event could be based on, La Tomatina or Running with the Bulls, and my bets are on La Tomatina. I could just see some kind of food festival event fitting right in, and we know tomatoes exist in the monster world, since they appear as items in Dawn of Fire, and pizza is a treat you can make in the bakery. It could be called Tomatoes for All. Now we've made it to where I predict which islands these events will take place on. Now, the previous monsters will most likely be going to the following islands: Clavavera on Bone Island, Carolong on either Light Island or Magical Sanctum, Fiddle on Fairy Island, and Vivain on either Amber Island or some unreleased island. Then there's Jamboree, who will either go on Gold Island or no other island, meaning the only islands that could have seasonals are as follows: either Light Island or Magical Sanctum, Psychic Island, and possibly Fire Oasis and Sugarbush Island. Let's start with Celestial Repose. Now, obviously it can't go to Celestial Island due to how Celestial Island works, but even then, why would an event celebrating the Celestials happen on Celestial Island? That would seem a bit vain to be celebrating yourself on your own island. So I think it will either go on Etheria Island or an unreleased island. Next, we have the Monster Appreciation event, which would most likely go on an unreleased island. Then we have the Independence Day inspired event, and I could see it going to Light Island, or Fire Oasis if it's firework themed, or Sugarbush Island if it's maple themed. Then we have Tomatoes for All, which would go to Psychic. Then we have what their breeding combos could be, and all but one of these monsters requires Hula. Now, we know that when two core seasonal events occur next to each other, a sub-seasonal between them has those two seasonals as their breeding combo. Jamboree is Hula and Punkleton, Gobbledygourd is Punkleton and Yule, Carolong is Yule and Schmoochel, and Fiddle is Schmoochel and Blabbit. So we can assume the Blabbit and Schmoochel event is one before Summer Song. Starting off, we have the seasonal for Celestial Repose, and I'd say Yule and Blabbit is a nice combination. For Monster Appreciation, it could be Schmoochel and Hula. For the Maple seasonal, it would have to be Blabbit and Hula. Then for Tomatoes for All, it would be Yule and Hula. So as a recap, for what a year would look like, we start our seasonal event train at the middle of October, where we celebrate Spooktacle until the last Tuesday in October. Then the first Wednesday in November, we celebrate the beat hereafter until mid-November, where we switch and celebrate Feastember until the first Tuesday in December. The next seasonal event is Festival of Yay, which starts mid-November and lasts until the first Tuesday in January. In mid-January, we celebrate the Crescendo Moon until the last Tuesday in January. Then we celebrate Season of Love for the rest of January until the second last Tuesday in February. Then Cloverspell starts the first Wednesday in March and lasts about 2 to 3 weeks. Extravaganza occurs at some point between the end of March and mid-April. Then we have Echoes of Eco on the last week of April, lasting for 2 weeks. A week after is Celestial Repose for 2 weeks. A week after that is Appreciate Monsters for 2 weeks. A week after that is the Maple event for 2 weeks. A week after that is Summer Song for 3 to 4 weeks. Then the Tomatoes for All event lasts until the end of August. Then we get Anniversary Month for all of September, and afterwards is a break before Spooktacle happens in October again. Thanks for watching.